He showed some pretty crazy power as well. Sounds like some sort of Greek philosopher. He was looking like a goddamn predator. Hey there everyone, this is Sergey from MMA Soap Opera, cause that's what it is, and what a great fight night we just had. I gotta say, it felt really fresh. We saw some new faces that had some great debut performances tonight. We had some exciting finishes as well. So let's jump straight into the main card. Alright, so the first fight on the main card was Mansour Abdul Malik, who won against Duško Todorovic. And man, Abdul Malik put it on him. Such an impressive performance. He was super aggressive, really dominant. Never let Todorovic to take a breath. Still, respect to Duško Todorovic for trying to fight through the adversity. He was going for a couple of leg locks and some ankle twists, but overall he was failing to cover his face because he was getting some clean shots. Abdul Malik was landing a bunch of clean punches straight to the face, and at one point Rev just completely understandably saw enough. Yeah, so that was a really great TKO win by Abdul Malik. Moving on. Jillian Robertson versus Luana Pinheiro. Man, Robertson was basically straight up going for takedowns all the time. There was no attempts to strike at all. Pinheiro did a really good job in defending and not letting Robertson to just straight up maul her, and especially in the stand-up, constantly moving, landing a bunch of really good body shots, and she had a really good jab as well. I think that it was during the first break between the first and the second round. Her corner basically told her to constantly move, and after landing punches to move straight out the range right away. And it really seemed like she was succeeding in that pretty well, especially in the second round. But yeah, the problem is that Robertson kept coming with the takedowns all the time, and at one point she even had a crucifix on her. But yeah, mounted her, controlled her till the end of the fight, landed some ground and pound as well, but overall it was more about the control. So yeah, Robertson won by unanimous decision. Not bad, not bad. Next. Alright, the next fight on the main card was UFC debut by Cortavius Romeus. First of all, what a cool name. Sounds like some sort of Greek philosopher or something like that. So Cortavius went against Gaston Bolaños. And yeah man, Gaston looked pretty sharp. Did you notice that in the first round Cortavius kept slipping all the time? That was kind of strange. I was almost expecting him to complain about the canvas or something. But yeah, apart from ice skating, he showed some pretty crazy power as well. He grabbed Gaston and slammed him on the ground several times during the fight. Like crazy power. But otherwise, I gotta say that this, what is his name again? Cortavius Romeus guy, he looked kinda rough around the edges. Like if you would compare him with his opponent Gaston, Gaston was way more technical, way more polished, had much better movement, and just generally seemed to be much more experienced fighter. And if you compare his attacks with Cortavius's attacks, Cortavius was just swinging like crazy and really seemed like he was overcommitted on the shots. Sure, he was going for a bunch of submissions all the time, which was kinda expected from him, because apparently the commentators said that he's some sort of a submission wizkid or something, but yet and still Gaston was able to like reverse on him, stand up, and land some really heavy and clean punches on him. So yeah, overall a really great fight. Unanimous decision win for Gaston Bolaños, but like fantastic performance by both of the fighters. It was really fun to watch. Next fight, Gerald GM3 Meerschaert was going against yet another debut fighter by the name of Reinier de Ridder. So this guy, he's a really exciting prospect from Netherlands. Apparently he's a 2-division champ from one championship, and it seems like these guys had some sort of a beef. They trained together, and de Ridder is claiming that he was submitting Meerschaert all the time. Well, no submissions here, at least not in the first round. Overall GM3 did pretty well, but Ridder put him down at the end of the first round with a couple of heavy punches. I think it was like a 2 or 3 punch combo or something. Yeah man, Meerschaert barely survived the first round and was saved by the bell. In the second round, a bunch of grappling. Meerschaert spent a little bit more time on the top, but Ridder was still able to reverse on him. Kinda difficult to say who won that round. But in the third, yeah man, I was kinda expecting that the fight was gonna go the distance. But that is absolutely not what we saw. Well yes, we saw some grappling, but de Ridder eventually managed to get a really dominant position, and he actually delivered on the submission. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't lying, that when they trained together he was submitting him all the time. So quite fun fight to watch. I actually thought that de Ridder was alright, like I wasn't extremely impressed by him. I kinda escaped the feeling that he a little bit underperformed during this fight, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Oh yeah, also he said that he would like to jump in next week in a Madison Square Garden, which is kinda crazy. But anyways, let's talk about the main fight of the evening, which was of course Neil Magny versus Carlos Prates. Yeah, so Carlos Prates actually kinda turned me into a fan right with his walkout song. He played this song by Skrillex with Rick Ross. They made that song several years ago for the Suicide Squad film, and at the time it was like my favorite banger. But yeah, Prates coming out with quite a bit of a swagger, and yeah, man, Neil Magny, what I can say, I can't really think of a single time in the past couple of years when I would feel impressed by his performances, and I really don't want to sit and hate on him. I respect him as an OG, I'm not gonna hate, so I'm just gonna talk about the positives of this fight, which is of course the performance of Carlos Prates. Prates, he was looking like a goddamn predator. Really patient. The first couple of minutes he was tracking down Magny, but once he stomped on that gas, he demolished Neil Magny, and he didn't even need to land clean shots on Neil Magny at all. But also during the first 2.5 minutes, you could tell that Michael Bisping was getting a little bit impatient with Prates. He was saying that Prates was a little bit too careful, that he needs to start working, and I gotta admit, I was a little bit frustrated with him. Like, dude, this is a 5-round fight. The fight just started. Let him feel out his opponent. And guess what? Prates did exactly that. Like, you could tell that he was basically downloading the data, as they say. But yeah, man, the fight was finished within 1 round and in a dominant fashion as well. So, here is my prediction. With 4 KO wins in 2024, Carlos Prates is gonna be named the prospect of the year. But also, considering the great success that the Fighting Nerds had during this year, I'm pretty damn sure that they're gonna be called the team of the year. Like, did you see them taking the pictures in the glasses with like John Jones, Khalil Roundtree, and a bunch of other people at the end of the event? I'm telling you, man, it's almost like they're starting a fan club or something. Alright, so these were my thoughts on this particular fight night. I thought that this was such a great card. This week, we're gonna be talking about the upcoming UFC 309 event, which is happening next weekend. So guys, make sure to hit subscribe and ring the bell so that you don't miss those videos. And yeah, man, I'm super pumped for that card, especially for the Charles Oliveira and Michael Chandler fight. That one is gonna be a banger. As well as John Jones and Stipe Miocic fight, of course. Alright guys, this is it for today's video. If you liked it, make sure to hit like. I wish you all a great start of the week. See you in the next video. This was Sergey from MMA Soap Opera, cause that's what it is.